9 whole days I was borne along by rough deadly winds on the fish-infested sea. Then on the 10th our squadron reached the land of the Lotus Eaters, people who eat the lotus, mellow fruit and flower. We disembarked on the coast, drew water there, and crewmen snatched a meal by the swift ships. Once we'd had our fill of food and drink, I sent a detail ahead, 2 picked men and a third, a runner, to scout out who might live there, men like us perhaps, who live on bread. So off they went, and soon enough they mingled among the natives, Lotus Eaters. Lotus Eaters who had no notion of killing my companions, not at all. They simply gave them the lotus to taste instead. Any crewmen who ate the lotus, the honey-sweet fruit, lost all desire to send a message back, much less return. Their only wish to linger there with the Lotus Eaters, grazing on lotus. All memory of the journey home dissolved forever. But I brought them back to the hollow ships and streaming tears. I forced them, hauled them under the rowing benches, lashed them fast, and shouted out commands to my other steady comrades, "Quick, no time to lose, embark in the racing ships," so none could eat the lotus, forget the voyage home. Now, with a sharp sword, I sliced an ample wheel of beeswax down into pieces, kneaded them in my 2 strong hands, and the wax soon grew soft, worked by my strength and Helios's burning rays, the sun at high noon, and I stopped the ears of my comrades one by one. They bound me hand and foot in the tight ship, erect at the mast block, lashed by ropes to the mast, and rowed and churned the whitecaps stroke on stroke. We were just offshore, as far as a man's shout can carry, scudding close, when the Sirens sensed at once a ship was racing past, and burst into their high, thrilling song. "Come closer, famous Odysseus, Achaea's pride and glory. Moor your ship on our coast so you can hear our song. Never has any sailor passed our shores in his black craft, until he has heard the honeyed voices pouring from our lips. And once he hears to his heart's content, sails on, a wiser man. We know all the pains that Achaeans and Trojans once endured, on the spreading plain of Troy when the gods willed it so, all that comes to pass on the fertile earth. We know it all." So they sent their ravishing voices out across the air, and the heart inside me throbbed to listen longer. I signalled the crew with frowns to set me free. They flung themselves at the oars and rowed on harder, Perimedes and Eurylochus springing up at once to bind me faster with rope on chafing rope. But once we left the Sirens fading in our wake, once we could hear their song no more, their urgent call, my steadfast crew was quick to remove the wax I'd used to seal their ears and loosed the bonds that lashed me.